Imagine being stopped by the police for no reason, only to have your life destroyed in seconds by a lie. But what happens when the very camera they forgot about uncovers the truth they tried to bury? But that night, his dreams were nearly stolen from him. As Jamal cut across a quiet neighborhood street, headlights flashed behind him. A police cruiser rolled up, sirens blaring for a split second before cutting off. Two officers stepped out, veterans in the precinct, known for making their quota, no matter what it took. "Hey, you, hands where we can see them," barked Officer Grant, a burly man with a permanent scowl. Startled, Jamal froze. "What's going on, officer? I didn't do anything." His voice trembled, but he kept his hands visible. The second officer, Ramirez, moved quickly, circling Jamal like a predator. "We got a call about suspicious activity in the area," he said. "You fit the description." Jamal's heart raced. "Suspicious? I just came from work. You can call my boss." But before he could finish, Grant shoved him against the hood of the car. "Save it for later. Let's see what you're carrying." They tore through Jamal's backpack, tossing his textbooks and mechanic gloves onto the pavement. Jamal's pleas grew desperate. "That's my school stuff. I don't have anything else." Then it happened. With one smooth, practiced motion, Ramirez slipped a small plastic bag into the side pocket of Jamal's backpack. White powder, the kind of evidence that destroyed lives in an instant. Grant pulled it out theatrically, holding it up in the flashing streetlights. Well, what do we have here?" Jamal's eyes widened in disbelief. "No, that's not mine. You put that there, please, you set me up." His voice cracked, but the officers only smirked. "Tell it to the judge," Ramirez muttered as they cuffed him roughly, ignoring his cries. To anyone watching from a distance, it looked like a clean arrest. Another criminal off the streets. But what the officers didn't know, what they couldn't possibly suspect, was that just across the street, mounted on the corner of a convenience store, a security camera had captured every second of the dirty game. Inside the store, the clerk, Mrs. Johnson, watched the scene unfold on the monitor. Her stomach dropped. She had known Jamal since he was a little boy buying candy after school. She knew his family, his character, his dreams. And she knew the cops had just planted evidence on him. Her hands trembled as she whispered, "Not Jamal. Not him." She quickly copied the footage onto a USB drive. She couldn't let this go unseen. The next morning, Jamal's mother, Angela, sat in the courtroom, tears streaming silently down her face as she watched her son, shackled and wearing an orange jumpsuit, shuffled in. He looked so small, so broken, and yet his eyes still searched for her in the crowd, clinging to hope. The prosecutor wasted no time painting Jamal as a criminal. "Your Honor, the defendant was found in possession of illegal narcotics. The evidence is irrefutable. Officers Grant and Ramirez executed a lawful stop, and the drugs were discovered on his person." Jamal's lawyer, a young but determined public defender named Eric, stood to counter. His voice was steady, but there was a flicker of doubt in his eyes. The system rarely sided with young black men like Jamal. But then, the doors to the courtroom opened. Mrs. Johnson stepped in, clutching the USB drive tightly in her hand. She made her way to the defense table and whispered urgently to Eric. His eyes widened as he plugged the drive into his laptop. "Your Honor," Eric said firmly, "the defense has new evidence that must be seen." The judge raised an eyebrow. "Proceed." The lights dimmed slightly as the monitor flickered on. Grainy black and white footage filled the screen. The courtroom fell silent. There it was, clear as day. Officer Ramirez slipping the bag into Jamal's backpack. Officer Grant pulling it out, pretending to find it. Jamal's terrified protests. Gasps echoed through the courtroom. Angela's sobs turned into cries of relief. Jamal's shoulders shook as tears streamed down his face. Finally, the truth was visible to everyone. The prosecutor stammered, This must be doctored." But the judge silenced him. His face hardened as he turned to the officers. "This court has just witnessed undeniable evidence of corruption and abuse of power. Officers Grant and Ramirez, you are hereby placed under arrest." The bailiffs moved in, cuffing the stunned officers. Their arrogance melted away, replaced by panic. The same cuffs they had placed on innocent men now clicked around their own wrists. Jamal sat frozen for a moment, unable to process it. Then Eric leaned over, whispering, "You're free, Jamal. They can't touch you anymore." When the shackles were removed, Jamal's mother rushed to him, wrapping him in a hug so fierce it nearly knocked him over. "I told you, baby," she whispered through tears. "The truth always comes out." Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. Cameras flashed, microphones shoved forward. Jamal, still shaky, stood beside his mother. His voice cracked, but he spoke with courage. "I didn't do anything wrong. I was just walking home. They tried to ruin my life. They tried to make me something I'm not. But the truth was stronger. The crowd erupted in applause. For once, the world was listening. That night, Jamal sat in his room, staring at the basketball resting against the wall. He picked it up, holding it close, and whispered to himself, "They almost took everything from me. But I'm still here, and I won't stop fighting, for myself, for my family, for everyone like me." The security camera had saved him. But more importantly, the courage of one woman who refused to stay silent had turned the tide. And though scars remained, Jamal's story would not be forgotten. Because in a world where injustice tried to bury the truth had fought back, and won.